What's going on, everybody? This is Dave from This is Pop Punk Promotions. I'm here with Lisa from Stereotherapy from Holmdel, New Jersey. How's it going, Lisa?
Good. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm really excited to do this.
Really appreciate you coming on. Let's dive right into it. So, when and how did you start up Stereotherapy?
Oh, a long time ago, I started it up. Actually, we're really going to go back like 2015, 2016. It was a blog. But then that stopped because I'm not a writer. So I was like, I can't do this anymore. And the industry was just not like I liked it. And then I restarted it like officially as a podcast in 2023. The first go was awful, but we rebounded like 3 months later. So from 2023 to 2026, which currently today, which it just turned 3 years in April, which is wild to think about. And we basically just taught ourselves. So we taught ourselves how to edit audio, we taught ourselves how to edit video, how to interview properly and do all that. And it's been like really, really fun.
That's awesome. What would you say has been the easiest, and what would you say has been the hardest thing to learn?
Oh, the easiest thing was just to be able to sit and talk to people because that's always been something I've been really good at and like the research and care for every guest. And like, I just love music. So, like, that was the easy part. The hardest part is like when there was like technical things that like I didn't know how to do. Like, okay, someone's volume, even though like we fixed it, it still wasn't good. And I had to learn how to do that. And then also like getting the show out there because like the algorithms and just no matter what you do, even if you get like 500 views on something, it doesn't mean 500 people are going to go listen to the episode. They may just like that reel or something. So like, and also learning that like I have to do this because I love it and not because what I can get from it, whether that's like, I don't know, I don't want to say clout or anything like that, but like just do it because I love it and accepting that like if I'm happy with it, that's okay. And the internet's a big place. And just because I don't get a lot of likes, that doesn't mean like my show doesn't have value. So I guess like learning that, like that I still have value, even if like the numbers don't show that.
I definitely feel you on the volume and the technical side of it. Like I'm not a very technical person. I'll be the first to admit it. I tell everybody this. And then like the volume, I've been there. My volume at times wasn't working, and there's been times where like the guest volume wasn't working, so we had to like collaborate and figure out like what the problem was, and then eventually we were able to rock and roll and get the ball rolling.
Yeah. And two, like just understanding that like you're human in that, right? Like you're saying, like I've been there. There have been episodes I've put out and I'm like, man, I wish I knew how to fix this. So then like I've learned and I'm still not perfect by any means, but taking the time to kind of see like what can I do, but then also understand that like you said, like sometimes your guest or even yourself, like it's out of your control. And I feel like people understand that too, and they're a lot more than we think. I think we're all like always a lot harder on ourselves than other people are.
Just because we want it to be perfect and we want the guests to have a great time and we want the guests to tell others about it and have others come on and so on and so forth.
100%. And like, yeah, I want the guests to leave like, oh, I really liked her, or like, I would like to go on again, or I'm gonna like, let's share this episode. Like, a share is so huge for us doing the podcast. Like, I know it seems like so small and like trivial, but like a like or a share if you've been on the show is like huge. It's so huge.
Absolutely. I mean, I tell people all the time, it's like, one share and I can get like one or two new followers.
Hmm.
And like you said, it really does like make like a giant difference.
Yeah. And you never know. You never know who's watching you, right? Like you never know who can be behind that share. So it's like I always tell people like support podcasts, support people or creators, whatever you want to call them, like support those people. And just even the little smallest thing can go such a long way.
Absolutely. I love the name Stereotherapy. How did you come up with it?
Oh my gosh, this is some lore because I it's a band that a lot of people have not heard of. So we'll see if you have. But the band North Star, have you heard of them? So They have a lyric on the Is This Thing Loaded album and the song. And it says stereotherapy heals my lesions. And I was like looking for like, what am I going to call this thing? Um, and my friend and I were like listening to North Star, and I was like, what about stereotherapy? Like that fits, and like that fits me, like how I use music to cope with feelings. Uh, and I did it, and it just stuck. So I credit North Star 100% for that. And anytime I tell people that, they're just like, who? Or they know them. So it's like a toss up, but I'm like, they were so great.
That's absolutely incredible. North Star, I feel like they deserve way more love. They're a band that, like, for some reason, I just missed, like, growing up in like the early 2000s. And then probably like, a couple of years ago, I discovered them, I think on Spotify. I'm like, these guys are sick. And I've been hooked ever
Oh,
since.
so good. And like we talk about all these emo revivals and stuff, and I'm like, when is anyone going to talk about this band? Because they are so good, and I never hear anyone talk about them like as far as like reunions go or anything. So, I don't know, maybe it'll get out there. Who knows? Maybe like me naming my podcast will like start that. I don't know.
You'll be a start of something special.
Hopefully, hey, I would just love to see a show of theirs like in 2026. That would be awesome. So, and it's really cool because like when people that don't know the band, they're just like, oh, I like the name. But it's cool to say that like, yeah, it's one of my favorite bands that like I would listen to. Like I got it from a song lyric. So I kind of love that it remained that way, not just some like, I don't know, some name I just threw into a hat and it like had meaning to it.
Absolutely. Definitely makes it more personal, more real, more legit.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, which bands were the first bands that got you into pop punk and emo and alternative music?
Oh man. So if we're gonna go really young, it's got to be like not even emo or pop punk, but it's going to be Nirvana and Smashing Pumpkins because my parents like started me on that alternative route. And I think if I didn't hear that, I wouldn't have gotten to like where I am today. But if we're going emo and pop punk, for sure, I mean, where I used to live in Chicago, I'm going to go Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy, although like 100%, no matter what people think of them now and their music and how it's changed, them, that era, specifically like 2004, 2007 and beyond, like they were everything. And I don't care how popular like they got. I love them. I was also a big gatekeeper back then, which was awful. I was like, they're my band. I learned from it. I grew up. Um, but and then Newfound Glory. Newfound Glory is like still to this day one of my favorite bands of all time. And I think if I didn't find them and that style of pop punk, I definitely wouldn't have went on the path either. Because like I love Blink, but there was something about like Newfound Glory that like still they're my comfort band forever, and I love them so much. Like them. And then when it gets to like Alkaline Trio, again, Chicago, like Alkaline Trio, I love so much. And I'm not ashamed of that. I'm like, I know they're all Chicago, but they're just so good. So like those were like my top three, like growing up, being a teen, just loving music. Yeah, those would be the big three.
All absolutely incredible bands. I tell people that like I love Blink to death, and it's like painful for me to say this, but I would take Newfound over them just because I feel like Newfound's more consistent. I think the years without Tom, I think hurt Blink. I mean, I love Matt Skiba. I just personally think he belongs in Alkaline, and Tom belongs in Blink. And then also like a couple of those. It's funny. Neighborhoods at first I didn't like because I thought it wasn't Blank and it was more Angels and Airwaves, and now like I love it. So I think that album aged really well. But then like what was it? Dogs Eat Dogs. Like I didn't really like care. I mean it's not bad, but like to me like it wasn't like true Blank. Where else I feel like Newfound is like every album, like every release has been a banger. Like obviously some are better than others, but I think overall each one, is an A plus, and I just think they're super duper consistent. And so I got to go with them, but it's tough because I do really love Blank, but in the end, Newfound's definitely more consistent.
Oh, that's me to a T with that. I've always said like there was a reel I made when like I did like a Newfound Glory episode just about them. I think it was Catalyst. And I just said, and I clipped it that like Newfound Glory is like what I consider like my pop punk. I know everyone has Blink, and I love Blink forever. They're legends. But Newfound Glory just always takes that like upper hand for me. And I clipped it, not thinking anything. And again, this is where like social media comes to play. Like I hashtagged it, and Jordan found it like months after it was out and shared it. And I got a lot of people like going ahead and liking it. And I was so scared because I was like, oh, this is kind of like a controversial thing to say. Like, I don't know. And a lot of people felt so similar. They were like, no, Newfound Glory is like that to me too. I love Blink, but like Newfound Glory also like I feel like grew with us too. Like when you talk about like coming home, specifically that record, and like as we grew older, it matured a little bit. So I thought that was really cool.
That's really sick. And their newest album, A plus, have you listened
Oh,
to it?
it is
When I
so
listened
good.
to it, I felt like I was like, 12 years old, 10 years old again in the early 2000s. I felt like I was a kid again. And it just, to me, it felt very refreshing. It felt very like new and original and just like very authentic.
Oh, it was so, I feel like it's their best in a long time. Like it's so good. And you can really hear that like they needed it too. Like as much as like us, like you can hear that. And like Chad was talking about like during his chemo treatments and things like that, he would write these songs. And you kind of really heard that. You heard that through. And I'm like, I think I know they wrote the record for us, but I think they wrote it for them too, which is really it's so good. It's one of my favorites.
In the end, like that's what it's about is like, yes, you want to do it for the fans, but at the same time, you want to like, do it for yourself. Like if you're, putting out music that, is not for you and you don't enjoy it and you're not like staying true to who you are, then you're just wasting your time.
1,000%. And that's why like I just I don't know, I gravitate towards bands like them because I can just feel like that connection. And I feel like I'll be like, I don't know, 50 still going to if they're still playing, I will still go.
I'm right there with you. I'll go with you there. I was gonna say we can go in our walkers, but now you'll be good. I'll be in a walker. I'll be in a wheelchair, and somebody can push me around.
Hey, they just have to fix all the ADA sections at these venues. That's another conversation, but that is a big gripe of mine. So like, let's manifest that too. Like, we'll go see them, but like, they fix this for everybody that needs those sections.
Touche. So if you could interview one of those bands, who would it be?
It's funny because I've tried to get Newfound Glory. Um, and just again, I don't know if my podcast's not big enough or they were only doing press with certain people because I get how that goes. But Newfound Glory is just that bucket list. But I'm not gonna lie, the number one would honestly be Alkaline Trio. I that has always been bucket list. That has always been where I'm like, if that ever happened, like I could stop. And not really, but like just to have that conversation and that like Chicago connection and like I've met them a lot of times too and just the kindest people. Again, I don't know them personally, but like the interactions I've had, that is like my number one. Like I have a little jar of like bucket list people. And like an alkaline trio is like, I'm like, I can't wait for the day I can ever like take them out of there.
That would be absolutely incredible. And Alkaline Trio, if you guys see this, you know what to do.
Yes. Hey, like I'm somewhere probably in Matt Skiba's DMs from like years ago. I get which you're not supposed to do, and everyone says that, and I try to respect, what you have to go through PR and management, but I'm just like, come on, come on, let's just like 30 minutes. We'll do 30 minutes of like chit chat. But hopefully, fingers crossed that happens.
We've got to speak it into existence.
That works because two of my guests, I've done that. Ian Shelton of Military Gun, New Year's Eve last year, randomly tagged him, and I said, my number one goal for 2026 is to get Ian Shelton on of Military Gun. And he responded to me, and within the next day, we did it. So New Year's Day, we did it. And I thought he just was replying to the tag, not understanding that he said yes because he saw my TikToks and I would talk about the record and talk about the band. And so that's why he said yes. So I'm like, all right, that was manifestation, speaking that. And then Ned Russin of Title Fight and Glitterer. Literally, that was another big goal. I've said like in my little stories on Instagram, like I would love to talk to him. Um, and then I just emailed him and explained the show, and he was down. And I didn't believe it until like I was sitting across from him. So I believe in speaking that stuff into existence because sometimes it doesn't work, but there's a lot of times it does.
How was it talking with those guys?
Oh my God. It was nerve-wracking at first. Like, I'm not gonna lie, before I would go on with them, I was so nervous. I was like, oh man, I feel like sick. But then I'm like, how excited are you? Like, you get to do this. Like, just whatever, click. They're just a human at the end of the day. And like, once we clicked on, like, especially like with Ian of Military Gun, he was just so kind and so nice. Um, all those nerves went away. Like, there was one moment where I was like, oh my God, like, this is who you've always wanted to talk to. This is really cool. Um, but he was so kind and so nice and gave me so much time of his day while he was in the middle, like doing stuff for, just before they went on tour for Europe. So the fact that he made time for me so quickly was like insane. And then Ned, I was so nervous. But just because I didn't want to waste his time, I was like, I know he was busy before Coachella for Glitterer, but the kindest person. And just, I felt like any question I asked him, I was like, I'm just letting him talk because he is like the Yoda of music. Like he just goes. And it was so surreal. Like I'm not gonna lie, after those two, like I teared up just because it was like really cool and like meant so much. And of course I'm like, I don't care if anyone listens to this. Like I love this. Of course people are gonna, it's Ned Russ, people listened. But one thing I really focused on with Ned is like him as a human instead of like, tell me about Title Fight, tell me about this. And I felt like I almost got to like get to know him a little bit on that level of like as a person and other people that didn't know him. So it was really, really cool. But it was nerve-wracking at first. I was so scared. I was like, I don't think I can do it. And then after I did it, I was like, oh, I can do it. Like, that's really cool.
Then you realize you're just like these guys are just like normal human beings and they bleed the same color. Like the only difference is they maybe have a little bit more money and maybe like a few more people know them. But like I'm sure Ned really appreciated that, you wanted to like really truly get to know him as a person, like what his thought process is, like what's on his heart and what's on his mind.
Oh, I could tell that like midway through the conversation and at the end of it, when he thanked me for like asking him to do it, and also like when he shared it. Like you never know, but like not that I wanted and expected that, but you always can tell like when sometimes those bigger bands do really like what you did, and they share it with others. So I thought that was really cool. But I just like, yeah, I was like, all right. I told him I would only take like 35 to 40 minutes. We got it done in like 38. Somehow we did that. The universe was on our side, um, which is really, really cool. But getting those moments are like, that's so cool.
I can imagine him being very philosophical.
Yes. Oh my, everything he said, I was like, I even forget some of the questions I asked. Like I kind of like forgot them. I was just like, just talk to him. It'll be fine. And his responses was like, what do you say to that? Like, what do I even, how do I respond to that? And then I kind of like just got out of my head a little bit of like, again, like, hey, you're having a conversation. But yeah, the things he said, I was just like, yeah, only you could say these things. Like, I would never have like thought that process if asked that same question.
Right. And I tell people it's like Military Gun, I think is extremely underrated. I think they're one of the best bands right now, and I
Hmm.
absolutely love that they're, blowing up and they're gaining some traction and they're touring Europe. Definitely really dope to see.
It's so deserving. Like I said, like I don't know Ian, but from how he treated the podcast, coming on a very not really well-known show after going on like Zane Lowe and those bigger guys. It was really cool that he gave back to a fan and did that. And I think the world of that like he was so kind, and they just deserve like so much praise because I I love them. And I'm so bummed like that $20 tour isn't coming to New Jersey. I know it's going to New York, I think Philly. So it's possible, but I'm like, oh, just come back to New Jersey. That would be so
Not the
great.
same as the greatest state in America.
No, it's not this. And to be honest, I'm like, it is as you're getting older. It just is like, oh, on a weeknight, driving an hour and a half, like
And driving into Philly and parking and then driving out can be like a real pain.
I'm scared of that. We're going to see Circus Survive in Philadelphia in September, and it's been a hot minute since I've been in Philly, and I'm like so scared and worried about that parking. I'm like, we're gonna have to leave early. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get parking. Because like that stuff makes me so anxious. Like, where can I park? I don't know. I'm in a big city. I'm like nervous about this. So I'm like, oh, but it'll be worth it once we're there.
Right on. So, what other interviews have stood out to you?
Oh man. There's another one for sure, another bucket list guy, a guy I love so much, Anthony Green. And I got to do not last year. Was it 2025? I gotta think. I think it was the start of 2025 or the end of 2024 in December. That's what it was. And we released it in 2025. And that one was really special because he in general is my favorite musician. And someone that just has been so kind to me as a fan, meeting him so many times that when I had the podcast, I waited for a long time, but I initially was just like, would you ever come on? It's okay to say no. Like, and he was down. And it took like a year and a half almost of us back and forth because he is very busy. But I was going to be in New Jersey at a show, and I was like, I'm going to be there. You're going to be there. Can we do it? And he said yes, and kept confirming it. And then I realized I didn't know how to record live. I've never done it before. This is going to be interesting. So I asked some friends. I taught myself how to do that. And I still have gripes about how the audio turned out, but like that's life. It's the first time. But the conversation was so special because we were like in the corner at Crossroads upstairs. Um, and it was just really, really cool. And he gave us like 40, 45 minutes of time, which is huge to get before he played. So that one for sure. And then I would say again, most recently, like Michael Rowe of Daisy Head. Like that one stood out because I could tell once we got through like the beginning part of it, he was very comfortable. And I was very comfortable, and it was just like we were like friends. And we knew a few mutual people, which probably helped that, but he went really into like how like self-doubt is, and I could relate to so much of him. And he was one of the only guests to also ask me when I ask everybody like our question of how did you fall in love with music? He was the only one really to like turn it on me and say, well, what's yours? Which was really cool because nobody's ever done that. Not that I expect anyone to, but it was just like really cool. Um, that and then I know there's so many more. Like, oh man, and probably honestly, I'm gonna go with Jersey Band. I'm gonna say North Vale. North Vale I had on, and they were talking about their song "Hang in There, Kid" and suicide prevention, and it was just really special to get them to be so honest. And Keith and Mike were so honest about everything, and I just thought like moments like that were really cool that someone was that open with me and felt comfortable because I'm a stranger. Like they were open with me. So yeah, I'm gonna North Vale for sure. I gotta throw them in there.
Keith and Mike, you guys are the real MVPs.
Yes. And everyone go listen to them. They're so great. I love to hype like any Jersey band up.
Awesome band, awesome dudes doing awesome things.
Yes.
Very cool. So now I'm going to ask you some non-music questions. It's a good way for me to get to know you as a person. I did this with the other bands, other podcasts, other labels. Are you ready to rock and roll?
All right, let's do it.
All right, first one, favorite dessert.
Ooh. I'm gonna go with, you know what? I don't care. I used to work there. I don't care how basic it is. The Chili's molten chocolate cake. It is so good every time. I gotta do that one.
Chef's kiss.
Yes, it's so good.
Well, now I'm getting really hungry. As soon as we're done here, I'm gonna go and stuff my face.
There we go.
Yeah, can never go wrong with that. I'm a big red velvet cake guy and tiramisu. I think
Oh,
they personally deserve more love. I feel like not many people are, into that stuff. So I feel like I gotta, give it a shout out. And also, I think pumpkin cake is also very
oh,
no, not pumpkin cake, carrot cake. I think is very underrated and doesn't get talked about enough. So I gotta give that a shout out as well.
oh, it's so good. Yeah, you're right. Carrot cake is so underrated. Nobody really talks about that.
So, would you rather have unlimited creativity or unlimited knowledge?
Oh man. I'm gonna say unlimited creativity because as much as the knowledge would be great and I could definitely use it, like at the end of the day, like I say, like I'm not the most book smart individual. So, but I think it'd be really cool to have unlimited creativity to like really tap into certain things maybe I haven't yet creatively. I just love to create and I would like love to see like where did that take me?
Yeah, I mean, like it would be cool to be like really smart, but at the same time, it'd be nice to like, never like run out of ideas, never like not be, creative, like always be able to, create different things, like create new, podcasts and
Hmm.
create, new pages for different music. So I think I'm with you. I think I would rather go with creativity.
Oh, I love that because yeah, it's at the end of the day, I think that's really, really cool to like have, man, just like a creative anyone to like give me ideas when I just have block all the time. And I don't know about you, but like there's sometimes I have such creativity, like I can't get over this. So that would be really, really cool.
Absolutely. If this was like 20 years ago, I would maybe say knowledge because,
Sure.
school was always tough for me with, having ADHD and being a slower learner. So if
Mhm.
this was 20 years ago, if this was the early 2000s, I would say knowledge. But now, because of like, what we're doing and, we're getting like really hardcore into it, I think I have to go with, creativity.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm too. I have ADHD, so I feel you. And anyone listening to you, you're not alone in that. And like if it takes you a little longer, it's okay. Like I am someone that struggled with that as well, and like tests and everything. So it's you're not alone in that because I think it's like a lot of people do feel that, and it's now being older, I agree. Like maybe if you would have asked me, I would have been that kid to say like, give me the knowledge, just help me out here because I can't even finish this book. I can't do this. It's really hard.
ADHD club, it's a superpower. That's what I tell people.
Yes, 100%.
Right on. If you could replace one of your hands with any kitchen utensil, which one?
Oh my gosh. Trying to think, what do I use the most? Spatula. You know what? Because you can use a spatula to cook burgers. You could use it for pancakes. You could do it for, yeah, you know what? Spatula.
That's a different answer. I like it. I think it'd be cool to have like a knife as a hand. Like I think it would be
Oh,
I think it would like look pretty cool and I think it would be like cool to be able to like just, chop things up like with your your hand. So I think
yeah.
that would be pretty sick.
That would be really cool. Yeah, that would be really useful too. Because yeah, if I don't have then my other hand, I could use a knife still, but like, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, knife's better. But spatula, you know what? It'll get the job done.
Well, the cool thing is then you could just like, stir, things up with your hand. That would be pretty sick.
Yeah, right. You could do so much stuff with that. Like I feel like you could figure it out. And it's better than like, I don't know. Like I was gonna say ladle, but then I'm like, oh, then I'm like limited to like soups and like liquid stuff. I can't. Yeah.
That reminds me of Edward Scissorhands.
Yes. Oh, I love Edward Scissorhands. I love anything
Great,
like
great, great movie.
anything Tim Burton, anything like that whole era. And like, I know people have opinions on Johnny Depp, but he was great at Edward Scissorhands. He was wonderful. I love that movie so much.
Fun fact is Tim Burton has the same birthday as me,
Oh, that's so cool. When's your birthday?
August 25th.
Oh, so that's coming up. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. You have a nice summer birthday and even like a fall-ish birthday. Like I have a winter birthday. It's in February and it's like it's always a blizzard or something. Like
Well,
I
at
want a
least you
warm
have a
weather.
Valentine's Day.
That is true. I'm like February 10th, so I'm like right there in Valentine's Day.
I tell people the only thing I don't like about my birthday is the fact that I have to go back to work on my birthday.
Oh, yeah, that's
It's
gonna
like
make
I like my full-time job. I like what I do. I just would rather be celebrating by going to a show or, celebrating by, going to like, a pub or like a brewery or a coffee shop with like the homies or, skateboarding with the homies. Like I would much rather be doing that on my birthday instead of working, even though I do like my full-time job. But it is what it is. I'm used to it.
yeah, oh, but that does. But I mean, I don't know if you're like a fall guy, but if you're like right there, it could be cool to still have like April 25th, pumpkin spice latte around the corner if you're into that. Like, I just love fall. So, like, to me, I'm like, August on is like, it's fall time. That's how I am.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I used to hate fall, but
Hmm.
now I love it because of like beanies and flannels and pumpkin spice. I'm a teenage white girl, I'll admit it.
Hmm.
And then like, apple picking and,
Yes.
football and, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, I'm that. I recently, the last couple years, really got into like fantasy football. So like I'm all in. Like, don't ask me about like any plays, how the sport works, but I'm like fantasy football. I am locked in. I've almost won like 3 times. I'm like, I love football season because I'm like, all right, it's fantasy. I can win again. I can try and win. And I haven't done it yet. I've come in like second place every damn time.
Well, at least you check your team. I haven't checked my
Yeah.
team in like 5 years.
Oh my God.
I just, I
No,
just
I'm
don't
like
care.
religious. I'm like making trades. I'm like all this stuff. And like my fiance started getting me into it because he wanted to watch football Sundays. And I was like, "Oh, all day we got to watch this." But now it's like where I want, I'm like, turn on red zone. Like, let's do this. So I've got all my players and he laughs because he's like, you're into it way more than I am. Like, I should have you manage my team. Um, it's just so much fun. And like the weather, like you said, apple picking, and you get to do that. It's so awesome.
Everybody's just in a good mood in fall. Like in
Hmm.
fall, I feel like everybody's in a good mood. Summer, I feel like usually people are in a good mood because of the beach
Yeah.
and the weather's nicer, so you can do more things. I feel like the winter, like one of the reasons why I don't like it is because I feel like a lot of people are just like pissed off and just like are like angry and not happy about like being like trapped inside and not being able to do a whole lot.
Yep. And I get it. Like this winter was rough here. Like it was actually the first rough one in a while, like with the snow. So like, yeah, I'm always cranky in the winter because I'm just like, I'm over it.
PA and New Jersey winners can't play with them.
No, no. And like this one was the first one in a long time. So I was like, all right, we've been good for a couple years. Like it hasn't been that bad in New Jersey. But this one like really sucked because we just moved into a new place and it was like, great, now we have to shovel this new area that like is 10 times bigger. And like, I'm like, then I'm really getting old if I'm like complaining about that. So I'm like, oh man, I'm really showing my age.
That makes two of us. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. So if you had $1 million and you could donate to any charity, which one?
Oh my gosh. Mm. I'm trying to think of all the charities. Honestly, the one I can really think of right now, I think it would be like St. Jude's, like the children's, anything with children's hospitals, or whether, it's cancer or any illness. Um, just because I can't imagine what the families go through, what the kids go through. And a lot of times you hear stories about like, these kids don't even get to be a kid and like to be able to give back, whether it was like to like the research of it, or anything fun they could do. Like I know some people sometimes they do like toy swaps or even if it could be donated to like someone's Make-A-Wish where like Taylor Swift goes or like whatever, something cool. So yeah, I would definitely do that because I work with kids for a living and it's like I can't imagine seeing anyone but like these little kids, they're just so little, going through hard stuff like that.
So I work with kids with special needs at the middle school, 5 minutes away from my house, and so that really hits home for me. It's like my whole thing is no kid should be homeless, no kid should have no clothes, no kid should be starving to death. Like every
Mhm.
kid should have a home, every kid should have food, should have clothes, should have a shower. So yeah, that really hits home for me.
Yeah, and it's I've worked with a couple kids with special needs in my care when I ran my daycare, and it was like I was always so thankful that I was with them just because I'm like I knew I would give them the patience and the care they needed because I mean that's a whole nother story about the industry and like childcare and like things like that, but it's like um it's so important to be there for kids like that. And that's wonderful that you do that because I'm sure the kids look to you as like that comfort person and someone that like gets them. And they need people like that.
Maybe. I mean, probably not, but I
You
hope.
never you never know. I always say like and kids are also very honest and just how they are. Like there's so many times the kids I've watched where I think I'm like having a good day and they'll be like, "Why, like why is your hair like that? Why is this?" I'm like, "I don't know." Because we wanted it this way. I don't know. But then they just like years from now, I've heard from kids as they've gotten older and not in my care anymore that they still talk about me. So you like definitely do make impressions even when you don't think it.
It's funny because I had a kid last year that was nonverbal and he had Down syndrome and like for example, like I would just like, start dancing and he would just be like he'd put into his talker no or like he would just be like
Oh my
please
gosh.
like his way of saying please stop like you suck like you're a terrible like dancer you're embarrassing yourself and I'm like dude like come on like I'm just trying to like show you how it's done and show you to get on my level and oh man I'm gonna
Oh.
miss him so much. He's going to the high school. He's now a freshman. I'm gonna miss him so much. Like I tell people like he's like my son. Like I would die for him. Like I would take a bullet for him. Like that's just how like amazing of a kid like he is. And we always just understood each other and we just like were able to like read each other's minds and yeah. And I tell people like the kid changed my life like for the better. Like I would be like who I am today like without him.
See, like that's what probably makes it all worth it. Like any hard day like that. And I know even though like he doesn't articulate it all the way to you, like you're probably that for him too. Like I guarantee that. And that's really, really special.
Well, I really appreciate it. And like I said, I mean, I can only hope. I can only try.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And like you can only like try and help. But I mean, I think in anyone too, like you never know what it, like impact you make on someone. Like you could even think you don't, but like you just never know who definitely is like, yeah, I'm impacted by that person just by their kindness.
Very true. Our last question. What are some places in Holmdel that visitors should check out?
Oh man. Um, Definitely Rook coffee. It took me a while to like it because everyone's like you when I moved here from Illinois, they're like, go get Rook. And I'm like, I don't know what to, but I didn't know what to get. So I would just suggest get like a sample of their coffee, see what you like, because you may be like me and first time have it and it really, really sucked. But it wasn't on them, it was on me not knowing what to order. But I love their coffee a lot. Oh yeah, and then also like keeping a coffee, like Reposo. Reposo is really awesome. It's like on Palmer Ave. It's right like near Hazlitt, Holmdel area. Really cool, funky, like elaborate like coffee drinks that'll probably like send you into a sugar high. But they don't just have that either. They have awesome stuff. And it's really, really cool. Definitely too. Trying to think of everything. Oh my gosh, there's like so much. Oh, Gems Bagels. We have so many bagel places. I mean, that's just Jersey in general, but Gems or like Bagel Nook, which is amazing too. They have like such soft bagels, which that's one thing, like no dig to Chicago, but like the delis here, the bagels here, the pizza here. It's really good. It's really, really good. There's a place, Romeo's, right by me. They have such good pizza, meatball parm. Oh my God, it's like all food. I'm like giving everybody food. Just trust me, and I know people sometimes hear like Jersey Shore and they think like the show. Um, because technically this is the shore, I guess. But so many cool places. Just and honestly, speaking of Jersey Shore, I met Mike the Situation at a bagel shop right by me, which was wild. He was in there and I was like really like I don't want to talk to him because like whatever. The kindest guy. Again, no matter what anyone thinks, in that moment, he was so nice. I didn't get a picture because I was like I was looking rough that day and I was like I don't want to take a picture. But I should looking back, I'm like, oh. But he lives by me, like similarly, like not too far, I guess, which is really cool. So you never know who you're also going to meet at these places, which is really cool.
You got me with bagels and coffee.
Oh, so that was the number one thing when I moved here was like I need to like these bagels everyone talks about and delis. I need to go to them. And if anyone wants to venture a little further to like Middletown area, it's like Talercio's, and they're all over social media. They're a huge deli. They have like fried raviolis while you're like waiting in line, and these huge sandwiches that are like bigger than your mouth. Um, and they're just really nice and cool in there. So like if you want to venture a little into Middletown, go to Talercio's too. Like just the best food over here. 10 out of 10.
I'm getting so hungry.
I know. Me too, right? And I'm like,
I'm
I
getting
shouldn't be.
so
I
hungry.
know. It's so great like to visit like and we also have like beaches too. Like there's like the Bayshore Waterfront Park is like obviously it's the bay, so it's not like the ocean. But if you go a little further to like Sandy Hook that's like 15, 20 minutes, you're at the beach. So it's like you can't really beat it if you come out here. Just a lot of traffic in the summer. All the beach people. It's like crazy.
Yep, definitely sounds about right.
Which I was not expecting. I'm not used to that. So I was like, what do you mean beach weather? Like beach traffic. So definitely like just it's so busy over here, but it's still really, really cool like to be here and experience like all the good food and like despite what some people say that some people are rude over here, there's a lot of great people and a lot of nice people. Like I always tell people like there are, specifically in the music community for sure.
Just got to find the right people.
Yeah.
Do some
And it
digging.
And it took time. It took time. And like again, that goes back to social media. It's helped so much connect and find people. And that's why I always tell people they're so kind. Like they really are. Like I know that they're just like any place, there's your, people that aren't. But I think New Jersey and like East Coast gets a bad rap of like people not being nice.
I agree with you 1000%. And it's not like, I'm saying this because I'm from Jersey.
Yeah. But it's
It's
true
not
though.
like I'm being biased or anything.
No. And you know what? Even if you were like, I remember, I forget whose podcast I was on, but I said that. I was like, the people are so nice here. And they're just like, really? I said, yeah, they're nice. They're like, people don't really say that. And again, I said, like, I don't know, you got to find your people. And luckily me, like, it was finding people in the music scene. And I was like, all right, these are my people. Okay. These are the people I connect with.
Right on. Well, Lisa, I really appreciate you coming on, and the support means the world to me.
Oh, like again, thank you for having me. This was so much fun. And I really respect what you do because again, it's easy for me to say, okay, I've done this for 3 years. I've done this. But as anyone can see, you've done it for such a long time. And even looking back to doing research, your videos would pop up and I would watch them. And so it's been really cool to be able to be on here and get to connect.
Of course. So, for the watchers and the listeners, where can they find you guys at?
You can find us on everywhere other than like Twitter. I just like got rid of my Twitter. I'm like, it's toxic over there. I can't be on Twitter. I'm sorry, I can't. But we're on like TikTok, Instagram, stereotherapy. I think Instagram is like stereo period therapy, which I'm now kicking myself that I did that because I'm like, oh, I shouldn't put that period there. But we're there. And then we're on all major platforms. So we do YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Someone told me I'm like on a smaller podcast, like cast app or something. I don't even know what it is. So I guess wherever you get podcasts, just put stereotherapy and apparently I'm there. And then we also have a website that I'm working on, so stereotherapypod.com. You can listen to the podcast there. If you don't want to use Spotify or Apple because like you're just over that, you can listen on the website. So we're everywhere.
Do what she says, go to the websites and watch your interviews, watch their interviews, support local podcasters.
Yes, support your local podcasters and just any podcaster that you enjoy. Like the easiest thing, like, for your show as well, like I would encourage anyone if you like any of these videos, like, a share, a review, such a long way. I know we all say it, it helps everybody get out there. So like even if you don't like this one, which I hope you do, even if you don't, go like the other ones. It's so important to do that.
They'll like you. They won't like this ugly face.
Oh, you good. They've subscribed to you, so clearly you are doing something right.
Maybe. I really appreciate you're way too kind.
Hey, listen, we that's what we have to do, right? I feel like it's so important to be a kind person, especially like in these crazy times where so much is just going on every day. Like all we can do is like be kind to each other, and it goes such a long way.
Amen. Well, I hope you have a great night and we'll chat soon.
Yeah, oh my God, absolutely. Anytime. This was so cool.
All right, have a good night.
Yes, you
Peace.
too. Bye. Thank you so much.